Well, that ball going away there was the result of that lovely little delicate forehand volley. And so often, Wally, we're seeing the end of a point, and you see the ball and you see Rafter, but you don't see an opponent.
Yes, we haven't even played 2 sets of tennis yet, and Rafter already at 30 clean winners. By contrast, Chang only at 14. So we talked about it before. Chang somewhere nowhere to be seen on the first volley, and quite often Rafter's being forced to volley up, but there's just so much stick on that volley. He's so confident at the moment, and you really get the feeling that he's Chang just serving with new balls. You get a feeling that he's in a zone, and they talk about the zone, and it's something very few players ever experience.
Oh! 50 long.
Just totally confident in himself, confident in his game plan, and executing to perfection.
$30-15.
Chang pleading for a point there. He is that bereft of success.
Is it a camera? Yeah. You see that? It's a shiny thing. I have no idea what it is. I think it's one of the cameras, is it?
Rafter just saying that he can see some reflection from a camera lens. And the cameras tend to track the players, so he's picking up on that light and the movement.
He needs this game badly, Chang. Still a game point in hand. This would pull him up to 3-5. I'm a little bit surprised not to see the lob coming from Chang.
Yes, we haven't seen it played much at all. Early on he played one, but that's been about it. I really think he's just got to try and mix up the serve volley very sparingly. But Pat, on that occasion, once again, just blocking the return, getting it back into the middle of the court, starting to point. He really does have to try and shake Pat up a little bit, do something a bit different.
Advantage Chang.
Yeah, he's only been to the net 10 times in the match. With just over 50% success. Rafter, on the other hand, has been 49 times to the net, 34 times successfully. So it's still only one break of serve. It seems more somehow because this man has been just so dominating in this set, indeed in the whole match.
Just wonder if Chang can summon all his resources right here, try and affect the break back. He's almost seemed a bit flat, Chang, but I think it's more the quality of this man's play than anything to do with Michael's mental state.
Finally, we see a good, successful lob.
Low, 15.
Well, you called it, Bill. He hadn't gone to the air for quite a while, and that lob inch perfect. But what a difficult shot to play. It's a great camera angle. Difficult shot for Chang to have to play just to win a point on the full run.
15 all.
That's known as the inadvertent lob. Tony Roach there, bottom right, must be just so proud and pleased. This, of course, is a rehearsal, really, for the Davis Cup in 2 weeks' time. These two men will be in action for their respective countries in Washington, D.C. Semi-final of the Davis Cup. So Pat Rafter with 2 points for a 2-set lead. Pretty quick work too, just 1 hour, 18 minutes.
Second set.
No problem.
6 games to 3.
Chang still not sure. Rafter doesn't want to know. Well, I don't know. I've watched a lot of his matches, probably not as many as you, but by quite a long way, Wally.
Heard him, and Michael seems quite reluctant to come to the net. I thought Michael may have just had enough nous to try and take the net off Pat on occasion, mix it up a little bit, even serve and volley, which is not usual for him by any means. But he hasn't shown that at all today, and he's been quite defensive, but this man's play, close to perfect.
Well, I agree with you. Previous US Opens, Pat Rafter has done very little. He reached the 3rd round in '94. Surprising, actually, he hasn't gone further than the last 16 at Wimbledon. I'm pretty sure he will pretty soon. And the Australian, last 16, hasn't done terribly well there. And the one he's done the best at, the French, this year, electrifying serve and volleying on clay, took him to the semi-final.
Time.
Easily the most exciting performer there, not forgetting. They're still worried about the reflection coming from something. Chang, 3rd set. Oh, fantastic. Really fantastic. Maybe that'll pump him up to something great.
Well, this is almost like a squash shot. Fantastic.
Love.
Just doing his impersonation of a chicken.
Well, that 1 point electrified this crowd. It electrified this chap too. So maybe we'll see a different set here. Oh, boy. Chang's best game by far, easily his best game. There are a couple of points in that game that are going to be replayed many times, I think. Good for Chang. He leads 1-love, third set.
Sunday, National Geographic Specials takes you on a remarkable journey.
On the basis of what we've seen from Chang in the first 2 sets, he was just going to be annihilated in this match. But look at this. That was improvisation and athleticism of a very high order indeed. There was another point where he got back an impossible shot for a winner with a squash shot. So he earned his game there with a vengeance. And that just might have had a little bit of an effect on Pat Rafter, who must have thought, here I go. I'm just going to cruise through this. Wally, do you think it's important that Rafter plays a good, solid game here?
Yeah, it's very easy, having won the first 2 sets. Easy to have a lapse. Almost a sense of relief. Feel like you've done all the hard work.
Rafter's turn to feel aggrieved.
Well, Bill, you mentioned concentration early in the third. You've seen him miss 2 volleys, which is about as many as he's missed in the previous first 2 sets.
Well, that's just a marvellous return of serve.
15-40.
Chang's head just inches from the ball there. Really did see that early. 2 break points. Yet to break the Rafter serve. He's had 4 opportunities to do so.
30-40.
So that makes 5 chances for Chang that have gone begging. One more here.
For serve.
Chang is a different player at the moment. Rafter will do well to stifle this newfound enthusiasm.
Advantage Rafter.
Talk about serving well when you need it. Down 15-40. 3 perfect first serves.
For serve.
He's just been so thoughtful with his serving today. He's mixed it up, both pace and direction.
That was a very, very
One game
important
all.
game, even though he was well ahead, Rafter, to maintain the balance there, the equilibrium, the psychological balance.
Chang must be wondering what he can do to break. He's had 6 break points. Hasn't converted one. Philippoussis in shot, Pat's regular doubles partner and teammate for the upcoming tie against the States, Davis Cup tie.
Got a bit cramped on that shot. Played it rather too close to the body. Footwork.
We've only seen Pat open up on return on a couple of occasions, but when he's done so, he's done it well. He's mostly been content just to chip the ball back, get the point going.
Chang maintaining good form here.
It's 2 games to 1.
And having served first, he's ahead by the odd game, 2-1 in the third set.
Just 1 point at a time, concentrate on the first serve, make the first volley, just continue to do the things that he's been doing so well. You never want to change a winning game.
Rafter at 1-2, third set.
Rafter's first serve percentage today's been very good. It's up close to 70%. And Chang on that occasion stood well inside the baseline on the first serve, so he's just trying to change Pat's perception of the court.
You remember when Chang won the French Open in '89, he half volleyed some of Lendel's in the last 16, that was, I think, half volleyed some of Lendel's serves back.
You get the feeling that he's regrouped. That ball smack on the line. Just steadied the ship after a few loose games.
Very good shot, because it bounced quite high and he had to play it quite far from his body. That was really good control.
Bill, I've really felt, as we have a look from the blimp at the stadium, I've really felt that ever since Pete Sampras lost, Michael Chang hasn't flowed. I think he sensed that this was his opportunity, his big opportunity to win the US Open. And he really, the ball just hasn't flowed from his racket. Everything's been an effort.
15.
We saw him graft a couple of great 5-set wins over Rios and Pioline, but that was hard work. Nothing's come easy to him, and I think there's just a bit of extra pressure that he's put upon himself to win the US Open this year.
Well, of course, by Sampras going out, top seed, Chang at number 2 seed, is the hot favourite on paper.
Love.
Whereas here we have the number 13 seed, Pat Rafter, making the number 2 seed look somewhat humble. Checking that shot from Chang to the baseline was in. Looked to me as though it might have been long, but we're a long way from it. Oh, that went quickly.
That just gives you an indication of what the linesman see, the linesperson. Tough to call.
Left for serve.
An excellent smash on the jump. So Chang still stays ahead at the change.
Chang leads 3 games to 2.
And leads by 3 games to 2. And Rafter seems to be playing himself back into the form he showed in the first 2 sets. And the play down here is hotting up because Chang is presenting much more of a challenge in this set than he did in the first or the second sets. He's underhit the ball for the first time really well. But this man just continuing his solid challenge in serve and volleys. So it's Rafter at 2-3, third set.
15, love.
He's never really come to terms against the Rafter serve, has he? Never collared it.
No, it's very hard to get a bead on Pat's serve, hard to read his serve, but he has mixed up the direction just so well.
Having said that, every now and then you get this blistering return.
Pat's used the body serve very well here today, and that's the danger with the body serve. If you don't get it just quite right, you really do put the ball in the hitting zone of your opponent.
Well, that's 2 in succession of the best returns Chang has made in the match.
30 all.
And if Chang does have a dangerous side, it's that double-handed backhand.
Well, he's certainly collaring the serve in this game, which he hasn't done up to now. And this is break point. He's had six chances to break before this and never done it. Very good second serve, deep. And you can see how close Chang's inside the baseline. The ball is onto him in no time.
Advantage Chang.
That's about the first easy volley we've seen Pat miss today. And I think it was caused by the fact that he was just having a look at Chang to see which way he was going to go. And at the last minute, changed his mind, indecision. Now, I think Chang has been guilty of going for too much on return, on break point. The last thing you want to do when you're serving is have to play a volley.
Been so impressive the way he served his way out of trouble. Every time he's faced a big point, 125-mile-an-hour ace.
Advantage Rafter.
This crowd obviously wanting Chang to do well and win, but very appreciative of the serving and volleying skills of this chap.
Game, Rafter. Three games all.
Rafter just so cool under pressure. 8 break points he's faced now, and on every one he's been rock solid.
$15 left.
Well, you have to put your first volley away, and that was very ineffectual volleying from Chang. I was praising the fact that in the last year or two he's improved his serve and volley. Well, he hasn't volleyed well in this match, but he perhaps hasn't been allowed to.
15-30.
The approach played with not much pace and just so close to the baseline. After getting a little tangled up on the first smash, Michael Chang, not quite the feel he normally has, tried another topspin lob.
He's like a ghost. He just sort of, you find him at the net. You know, 1 minute he's back, you're looking at Chang about to play a shot, and you look at Rafter and he's arrived.
15-40.
Now, unfortunately for Chang, he doesn't have the big serve. Can't imagine him serving himself out of trouble here. He'll have to play his way out of 2 break points.
Close, but just too wide. And that could be the most crucial break of the whole match, because that puts Rafter ahead by 2 sets and a break, 4-3. Well, while we're possibly watching the closing stages of this match, Rafter now has a break, 2 sets and a break, 4-3. And Chang looking very despondent. I can tell you that the men who work out these things, computer rankings and all the rest of it, have decided that Greg Rosetsky will already, as runner-up of this tournament, if he loses in the final tomorrow, will be number 11 in the world. And if he wins it, believe it or not, he'll be number 4 in the world. Pat Rafter, who of course is ahead of him in the rankings now, if he is the runner-up, would be number 5 in the world. If he wins, he'll be number 3. So Rosetsky and Rafter, huge leaps forward. But this match is not over. 4-3 Rafter, 3rd set. Perfectly positioned, but too much on it.
Love, 15.
One thing that's almost depressing when you play Pat, it's very hard to hit a clean passing shot winner. He always gets his racket on the ball. It's so intimidating.
Love, 13.
He just seemed to push that one a little bit too much as well.
He does like to volley behind his opponent, particularly on the forehand side, which is a good play, but sometimes it's almost as if he waits a little bit too long for his opponent to make his move cross court. Gets caught up.
All. Left for serve.
Well, he's doing it again, faced with
40-30.
The love 30 situation brings out the best in Rafter. Excellent serving.
Deuce.
Every time I say somebody's serving excellently, they do a double fault. It's his first double fault of the set, only his third in the match. The whole match has been bereft of double faults. None by Chang in this set, only 2 for Chang in the whole match.
Advantage Rafter.
Well, only 122 miles an hour, but just have a look where it lands. Maybe an inch inside each line.
Oh, it just makes that look so easy. Quite a difficult volley, high volley, pushed right into the corner.
Rafter leads 5-3.
The thing that Pat does so well on those high volleys is he just keeps his legs going throughout the ball. He never stops and waits for it to come to him. He just runs right through it. Quite often you'll see he just stops short of the net.
Chang is serving to stay alive in the US Open. He's 3-5, third set.
Love.
Whatever Chang tries, the drive volley, hasn't played one of those in the match. It just gets clobbered.
15-all.
A lot of these shots would have been effective against a lot of people. Rafter just moves so well, he makes it look easy up there at the net, and his anticipation is so good. Really able to read what his opponent's about to do.
Pretty hard hitting by both, slightly harder by Chang.
30-15.
I don't think he'll be too bothered. Rafter hasn't dropped his set through the entire match. And he'll be coming out after this break to serve for the match and to go into the final. Proud really to come out and play today. Now don't write him off. He could well break here, but it would have to be a change in the fortunes of both players if that happens. Marcelo is about to take 10 tranquilizers while we watch what could be the final game of the semi-finals in the US Open. Ruzetsky awaits.
He's human after all.
Love, 15. All.
It is, after all, only a single break of serve in the 7th game that produces this situation. But that's a marvellous professional approach to losing the first point on a double fault. Really heavy first serves in. Beautiful balanced volley again. We've seen it so often. The Australian camper just going nearly wild with excitement. Marcelo is still alive and happy to report, as his compatriot now has 2 points to go into the final tomorrow. He's done it. Relax, Wally. That is a magnificent performance by Pat Rafter. Always very generous in his praise of an opponent. And Wally, say something.
Well, just look at Rafter. Is he happy? Is he happy? He just played one of the most clinical matches I think you'll ever see from him. To defeat Michael Chang in such a fashion, quite unbelievable. I think we might just be looking at the winner of the US Open 1997. I know you may disagree. Well done, Pat.
Well done indeed. Yeah, I totally disagree. Greg Ruzetsky is going to see him off. It should be a wonderful occasion tomorrow between two terrific players. We've seen two great semi-finals, and now we can't wait till tomorrow.
Well, we'll have to separate Bill Threlfall and Wally Mazur for commentary, that's for sure. We have got a final of the US Open between this man, Pat Rafter, and Greg Ruzetsky, who defeated Jonas Bjorkman in 5 long, tense sets earlier on today. A clinical performance was described by the commentators. Jeremy Bates is with me in the studio. I'm sure you wouldn't disagree. That was quite something from Pat.
It's a privilege to see such great tennis, wasn't it? I mean, we talked about Rafter with his tactic, and he kept it up. I mean, to manage to do it for that length.
For his nervous ability, or Bjorkman, to choke a bit if it gets tight. Of course, you're playing Becker in his hometown. Big occasion.
30-15.
Chang pleading for a point there. He is that bereft of success.
Is it a camera? Yeah. You see that? Is that shining there? I have no idea what it is. Hey, is it one of the cameras? Is it?
Well, that ball going away there was the result of that lovely little delicate forehand volley. And so often, Wally, we're seeing the end of a point, and you see the ball and you see Rafter, but you don't see an opponent.
Yes, we haven't even played 2 sets of tennis yet, and Rafter already at 30 clean winners. By contrast, Chang only at 14. So we talked about it before. Chang somewhere nowhere to be seen on the first volley, and quite often Rafter's being forced to volley up, but there's just so much stick on that volley. He's so confident at the moment, and you really get the feeling that he's Chang just serving with new balls. You get a feeling that he's in a zone, and they talk about the zone, and it's something very few players ever experience.
Oh! 15 low.
Just totally confident in himself, confident in his game plan, and executing to perfection. Mental state.
Finally, we see a good, successful lob.
Low, 15.
Well, you called it, Bill. He hadn't gone to the air for quite a while, and that lob inch perfect. But what a difficult shot to play. It's a great camera angle. Difficult shot for Chang to have to play just to win a point on the full run.
15 all.
That's known as the inadvertent lob.
Rafter just saying that he can see some reflection from a camera lens, and the cameras tend to track the players, so he's picking up on that light and the movement.
He needs this game badly, Chang. Still a game point in hand. This would pull him up to 3-5. I'm a little bit surprised not to see the lob coming from Chang.
Yes, we haven't seen it played much at all. Early on he played one, but that's been about it. I really think he's just got to try and mix up the serve volley very sparingly. But Pat, on that occasion, once again, just blocking the return, getting it back into the middle of the court, starting to point. He really does have to try and shake Pat up a little bit, do something a bit different.
Advantage Chang.
Yeah, he's only been to the net 10 times in the match. with just over 50% success. Rafter, on the other hand, has been 49 times to the net, 34 times successfully. So it's still only one break of serve. It seems more somehow because this man has been just so dominating in this set, indeed in the whole match.
Just wonder if Chang can summon all his resources right here, try and affect the break back. He's almost seemed a bit flat, Chang, but I think it's more the quality of this man's play than anything to do with Michael's